the big political story of the week right now seems to be, at least in races, seems to be Maine, because this just today, we're taping this on a Tuesday. Just today, Governor Mills of Maine announced she was going to get into the Senate race at the urging of Chuck Schumer, clearly, and the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, which is the body that oversees all of this from the National Party. And so she's entered the race as of today. She's joining a couple of other candidates who are already in the race. The one who's getting the most buzz is a guy named Graham Plattner. And Graham Plattner is an oysterman, which you got to love that piece of his bio. And he kind of goes around and he speaks in human speak about a range of issues, including the economy, which he's relentlessly focused on. He also has this riff he did that went a little bit viral. And I just, in case people listening haven't heard it, I just wanted to play it, and we'll talk about it and a little bit more about the race on the other side.
When we have defended our democracy and our country and our freedom, let it be a different kind of freedom. The freedom to not be condemned to scraps and to struggle, but the freedom to live lives with dignity and fulfillment. The freedom to not be ripped off by a for-profit healthcare system. The freedom to have a roof over our heads that we own. The freedom to have time to build, to create, to love, to live lives not just of survival, but of fulfillment and joy.
Okay, so he's got a thing. He's got the thing, the quality that good candidates have. That's a great riff on freedom that ties together cost of living issues and issues people care about deeply. And he just feels very relatable. He's also 41 years old. And Governor Mills is 77 years old. So this is a big age question in this race. But I do want to say for Governor Mills, because this is the argument people of her supporters will make. She is very popular. I think she's about a 51% approval rating. Susan Collins has 14%. And she is been governing a state where she's been elected twice, where the population is growing older and also isn't quite as progressive as some people who live outside of Maine might think. And I just wanted to play one thing from her, but people may have not remembered when she stood up to Donald Trump a couple of months ago. This is one of the things her supporters talk about. So let's play that too, and then we'll talk about the race.
Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
So that was her saying, "See you in court." Basically, like, "F you, buddy. I'm going to see you in court." And she sued him and she won. So I shared that because her announcement video was cringy, and she seemed very old and out of touch, which is a contrast to Plattner, who's getting a lot of buzz, raised a lot of money. I mean, the issue here to me, my core issue, is that there's this obsession by Chuck Schumer and others in Washington, I realize I live here, with going with the old same playbook that worked 20 years ago and not recognizing that politics in the country change. And there are people who don't come from the political world who might be worth giving a shot. And instead, he seems to be putting his finger on the scale here. But what do you think?
Yeah, so he has that obsession. There's an obsession right now with Democratic primary voters, especially, to not nominate super old candidates, to sort of say goodbye to the gerontocracy. There's also an obsession among Democratic primary voters to nominate people from communities, people who aren't just like lifetime lawyer, lobbyists, politicians, people with unconventional backgrounds, like Graham Plattner. And to your point, you said he has a thing. I'd say he's got Riz, he's got the sauce. Janet Mills has a backbone, but my issue isn't with primaries, right? I think primaries are good things. When you have
they can strengthen everybody.
Exactly. And you end up being a better general election candidate when you have a primary. What my issue is with here is, one, telling a 77-year-old elected official to not to retire, but instead to go for a promotion. And when voters are saying, please, no more of this after what happened with Joe Biden. And my second issue is that the DSCC is putting their thumb on the scale for her. As you mentioned, Maine is a weird state, right? They have two congressional districts that split in the presidential race. One is very blue, one always goes for Trump. And so this is not a down the line blue state. Collins is a very, very tricky opponent. So let's have a primary, let's play it out. There are other candidates in there, but I do not think the DSCC is doing anyone any favors, let alone Janet Mills, by putting their thumb on the scale here. Because let's be real, Chuck Schumer is one of the least popular elected officials in American politics today.